but, I don't know where you were or what you were doing.
I was in Los Angeles at my breakfast table. A phone call came in, said Jim Morrison, from a guy who was our manager at the time, said Jim Morrison is dead in Paris. I said, bullshit. At the time, Paul is dead. Rumors were going around. Lots of people were sort of dying, or rumors of their death. I didn't believe it at the time. I'd heard 4 or 5 other rumors of Jim's death. This was just another rumor of Jim's death. So it didn't really upset me in any way at the time. And the guy said, I think this is serious. I said, well, I'm not about to fly to Paris to check out some rumor. I don't believe it anyway. He said, I've got a flight, 12 o'clock flight to Paris. He flew to Paris. Fine. Go ahead and check it out. Called me back about 3 days later and said we buried a coffin, and Jim Morrison was in that coffin, and he's now buried and dead in Père Lachaise Cemetery. I said to the guy, he's dead? You buried him? He said, yes. I said, well, how did he die? He said, well, I don't know. It's all in French. I can't read it. Something about his heart stopped. I said, well, how did he look? He said, I don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know? He said, I never saw the body. I said, what do you mean you didn't see the body? He said, it was a sealed coffin. I said, you mean you put a sealed coffin in the ground? He said, yeah, but Jim was in there. I said, you're sure Jim was in there? Yeah, well, how do you know? I know he was in there. Did you see him? I didn't see him. And that's the story from my perspective.
Holy cow. So, technically, Jim Morrison might have just run away and said, the hell with all this stuff. That...
It's possible. It's possible. I doubt it, but it's possible. Yeah. It's possible. French death certificate, pay off an Algerian doctor, a couple of $1,000, sign it, put 150 pounds of sand or bricks in a coffin and put it in the ground. It's possible. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. But it sure is strange. There's a lot of strange circumstances surrounding his death, and that whole thing with the never seeing the body. I never saw Jim Morrison dead. Last time I saw Jim Morrison was in March in Los Angeles. And he said, I'm going to Paris. And I said, great, God bless, go, have a good time, write, relax, take it easy, take as much time as you want, 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever the fuck you want to take, go ahead and take as much time as you want. Call the muse back, get back to being a poet again. And that's what he was going to do. That's the last I ever saw of Jim Morrison.
How about Jim Morrison? What kind of person was he? There's such a myth around him that the myth has probably replaced the first-hand reality of exactly what he was about. Maybe I could get impressions. How about the
early impressions? Shy. This is a real contrary. Introverted, kind of college kid with cords, t-shirt, and bare feet in Ray's garage. Standing in the corner, giving lyrics to Ray to give to me, and not wanting to sing. I guess, as he said, inside everybody is an old black blues man and an English lord.
Morrison was an intellectual, a poet. Morrison was first and foremost a poet. The band was put together for poetry and rock and roll. Poetry and improvisatory music. We called it rock and roll. It was, we were able to play anything we wanted to play. And Morrison was able to write anything he wanted to write. And the original conception was to have a sort of a beatnik jazz blues band in which we had a poet as a lead singer, and we would do improvisations behind him. He was very intelligent, a very charming guy, a lot of fun, had a very biting wit, incredibly funny at times, but also had a dark, moody side, and I suppose as superstardom, the mantle of superstardom was placed on his shoulders, the dark side of Jim Morrison came out more and more. And finally, in the end, I think that the weight of stardom probably killed him. Probably the thing that did him in.
I don't think just that. I think he came in with some snakes. I think he was born with some demons, and they were stirred around by 20 years of his military upbringing, moving from base to base, And then we got together, and as he said, the bow was pulled back 22 years and let go. And there's the line. Public life.
Yeah. So in a sense, was there an aura of doom around him in a way?
Not doomed, but I mean, I sensed this guy was different right off. And also incredibly talented. No, but doom I could feel the last few years.
Like after the
Not
Miami
doom,
gig?
just doom.
Well, it was an awareness of death. Morrison was aware of, and I think we all should be aware of, our own mortality. Anything could happen to us at any moment. We all walk out the street and get hit by a taxi. I almost got hit by a taxi crossing the street. Guy was hauling ass, man. You're dead. You're gone, man. You live, you die. You have
And
this,
death not ends it.
death doesn't end it either. Exactly. Journey we more into the nightmare.
That's right, there are still video cassettes.
There's still footage in the
I was
Doors
just quoting
archives.
his lyrics
Oh,
from
Yeah, we quote-
American Prayer.
We throw Jim Morrison lyrics in a lot. We're the only band who actually knows all the lyrics to all the songs and a lot of the poetry. So we, as we do interviews, we throw in lines by Jim Morrison. Just a test on the interviewers. It's
Death
something.
not ends it. Journey we more into the
nightmare.
CDs and
Right into the CDs and the archives. Journey we again. What do we have left here? Let's see.
about some of those concerts, the Miami concert where, Morrison was arrested.
where Jim whipped it out and tripped.
He fell on it, yeah. Well, he could. I mean, the tool was long enough. It was difficult. He had to shove it down his pants leg and,
He had to fold it over, didn't he?
well, sometimes he did, and sometimes he just let it hang there, yeah. See, Miami was a religious hallucination. Miami never actually, the exposure, to my knowledge, never actually took place. But he told the audience he was going to do it, and he baited the audience and kept telling them that he was going to expose himself. And held his shirt in front of his crotch and kept using it as a bullfighter's cape, pulling it off to the side, and he'd quickly cover himself. And he said, I'm going to show it, watch, and he'd pull his shirt aside and pull it back. And that's what I remember. I never remember him actually doing it. I thought, he's pulling a number on the audience. But the southern audience, his home state of Florida, born in Florida, they saw the snake. They saw snakes, lizards. The Doors came as the kings of acid rock, kings of orgasmic rock, the Lizard King, all those funny titles. And I think he hypnotized 15,000 people into believing he did it.
Certainly these psychedelic Christians that attended the trial and stood outside and accosted us saying, he did it. I
Yeah.
looked at Ray.
I'll never
Did
forget
you
that.
see it? No. Did you guys? Uh-huh.
It was a hallucination, like you say, yeah.
Boy, we were right there, man. We didn't see it. I didn't see it. Maybe he did it. If he did, he sure was quick. It didn't.
He certainly didn't simulate oral copulation on the guitar player and lavishly display his penis